Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to today's webinars on auditors and IPs in CIRP, duty, disclosure, and delivery. We are privileged to have with us Mr. Amarjit Chopra, past President ICI. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Rashmi.
Okay. Yes, we are privileged to have with us Mr. Amarjit Chopra, past President ICI, as our chief guest and keynote speaker. Sir, we are delighted to have you with us today and look forward to hear from you. On behalf of IPNet, I extend a very warm welcome to our distinguished chief guest, speakers of the day, Ms. Geeta Sridhar and Ms. Tina Saraswat Pandey, our esteemed participants and fellow IPs to the webinar in our ongoing series organized under the umbrella of IPNet, the National Network for Insolvency Professionals, since its inception on 7th September 2024. A special thanks to Dr. Ashish Makhija, President of IPNet, for his visionary leadership in shaping this platform. IPNet has become a vibrant community for insolvency professionals across India, fostering continuous learning, collaboration, and professional growth. We are committed to support IPs through expert-led learning initiatives like webinars and study groups, practical guidance on IBC-related challenges, and a dedicated member portal offering comprehensive resources. For those who are already part of IPNet, thank you for your support. For others, I encourage you to join this dynamic network. Thank you for being here. Let's make this session insightful and rewarding. I request the team to present the IPNet video next.
In the fast-evolving world of insolvency and bankruptcy, professionals need more than just knowledge. They need a strong network, continuous support, and a unified voice. As the challenges of the insolvency profession grow, so does the need for a platform where professionals can come together, share their experiences, and find collective solutions. That's why IPNet was formed. Promoted by Transition, IPNet is more than just a network. It's a mission to unite insolvency professionals across India, empowering them with the tools, knowledge, strong leadership, and community support they need to excel. Our purpose is simple: to create a cohesive community of insolvency professionals that stands strong together, advocates for their interests, and drives excellence in every aspect of the profession. At IPNet, we believe in continuous learning and collaboration. Our activities are designed to ensure that every member stays ahead in their field. From specialized study groups that dive deep into critical topics like CIRP, compliances, and many more, to webinars and workshops that bring the latest insights right to your screen, IPNet is your gateway to professional growth. Backed by Transition, a leader in insolvency training and resources, IPNet is committed to promoting the interests of insolvency professionals. Our goal is to ensure that every IP, no matter where they are, has access to the best resources, strong leadership, and a network that truly understands their needs. Join us in this mission to build a stronger, smarter, and more connected community of insolvency professionals. Together, we can overcome challenges, shape the future of the profession, and make a lasting impact. IPNet, National Network for Insolvency Professionals in India.
Thank you, team. I now invite today's moderator, IP Sandeep Chitkara, to introduce our chief guest, Mr. Amarjit Chopra ji.
Thank you. Thank you, Rashmi. Good evening, all. I'm very much pleased to welcome our chief guest and keynote speaker of today, Dr. NCA Amarjit Chopra. He is going to speak on a very important topic of the auditor's role in CIRP their duties, disclosures, and dilemmas. So although it is quite difficult to describe the illustrious career of Dr. Chopra in a few words, but let me try on that. Dr. Amarjit Chopra was born in June 1952. He did his graduation and post-graduation from Delhi University. He qualified as chartered accountant in the year 1975. He successfully completed his PhD on the topic NPA Management in Banks, a comparison of public and private sector banks in India, in February 2022. He has been in profession for a period of more than 46 years. He is a senior partner in GSA and Associates, LLP in New Delhi. He was elected to the Northern India Regional Council of ICAI for 2 terms and was its chairman for the year 1988 to 1989. He was elected to Central Council of ICAI for 5 consecutive terms. He also chaired some of the most significant committees of ICAI, namely the Accounting Standards Board, Auditing and Insurance Standards Board, Financial Reporting Review Board, Corporate Laws Committee, and others. So he was also on the board of Insurance and Regulatory Authority of India. He was nominated to Bench 2 of Disciplinary Committee of ICAI by Government of India for a period of 4 years. He was nominated by Central Government as the chairman of National Advisory Committee on Accounting Standards for a period of 4 years. During this tenure, Indian Accounting Standards, IND AS, equivalent to IFRS, was introduced in the country. So presently, he is part-time member of National Reporting Authority of India, National Reporting Authority, which is NAFRA. He is also a member of Standing Committee on Corporate Laws, constituted by Government of India for the last 3 years. Last but not the least, he has also been conferred honorary life membership by the International Association of Accountants, London. So let us welcome all. Welcome, Dr. Amarjit Chopra. Hello. Welcome, Dr. Chopra. It is up to you now.
Thank you, Ji. Thanks a lot for a very generous introduction, and of course, my sincere thanks and gratitude to Mr. Dr. Makhija for giving me the opportunity today. Rashmi ji, I can see R.K. Gupta ji, for that matter, right in the screen right now. And there are certain other friends also. I will not like to have everybody here. The topic is important and dear to one's heart, if you really ask me. Having done some of the audits of perfect transactions, if you really ask me, whatever experience one has gained over a period of time in that one will like to share. I don't think I will like to be theoretical. I like to be practical on certain issues. We all know that IBC was introduced with a lot of fanfare by the present government. The main stress of the IBC was, if you really ask me, revival of the units. Recovery was a secondary matter, if you really ask. Yes, there's no doubt that certain other remedies which were available for the recoveries were ineffective at that particular point of time, whether we talk of CIRP or we talk of debt tribunals, etc. These were not very effective. Of course, at that particular point of time, the banks used to go in for either restructuring or one-time settlement. But what has happened in the bargain is that instead of focusing on the revival, which was the main emphasis of the entire IBC, the emphasis appears to be more on recoveries today. And I think that is the biggest pitfall today, if you ask me, of this particular entire process. And whatever has happened in the case of the JSW taking over Bhushan Steel and whatever is the judgment later on, that has pushed the entire process back by a number of years, if you ask me. Because if the company is running EBITDA positive and you order for the liquidation of that company, I don't think that's actually desirable under any circumstances. But today's topic is not that. If you ask me, one can really go on to speak about that. One can go on to speak about average haircut of almost 63-65% in all the cases. People have been talking of fair valuation versus liquidation valuations. And I think somewhere or the other, the entire process seems to be flawed today, if you really ask me. And role of the, whether RPs or IRPs, there is a need that each one of us does some kind of a self-introspection with regard to where we are heading in this particular direction. So far as the auditors are concerned, I think today, any either IRP or RP are at liberty. I don't say that it's compulsory for them, but they are at liberty that they can appoint the auditors for undertaking the perfect transactions. Now, whether these are preferential transactions or these are undervalued transactions, these are fraudulent transactions or these are extortionate transactions, the audit may be undertaken. But we should not lose sight of one particular fact, that whichever auditor you may appoint, ultimately he needs the information. And duty of providing the information is on the RP. That record has to be made available by them because he has stepped into the shoes of the management. And where RP is suffering today, or IRP is suffering today, is that in most of the cases where the fraudulent transactions have actually taken place, promoters are behind bars. The top managerial personnel have quit. The staff which had actually undertaken those transactions does not exist anymore. The records are incomplete. No, I think that is the biggest challenge that any auditor faces today. And that's not the challenge of the auditor alone, that's the challenge of the RP also for that matter, because he's also unable to lay down the hands on the complete records. At least few of the cases that we undertook, we came to a conclusion that the promoters are behind bars and nobody is willing to provide the information. IRP does not have that information under his control. Now, how to get that information? I think people may speak of that there are tools, there are this, that. That does not help, very frankly. Tools can be applied only if the information is available. If the information is not available, no tool can be applied there. So there are limitations to the auditor's role today also when it comes to, and I'm talking of only the perfect transactions right now. I will come to the role of the statutory auditor little later. So where it suffers is that when I talk of the preferential payments, there is no doubt, I think you all know what the preferential payments mean. That you keep on making payments to certain parties which are considered to be preferred parties basically. And immediately before the things have actually taken place, when the case is being referred to the NCLT, you know that this is going to happen and you start making payments to the preferred parties. And how that happens and where that money flows, I don't want to get into the details thereof. And how that flows, I don't want to talk about that. Then there could be the transactions which are fraudulent, firstly undervalued. There could be cases where the debtor has actually sold out the assets at a much lower value than what it should have been sold out immediately before the proceedings have been launched. And these cases are plenty in number. These are not small in number. Let's be very clear about it. And there could be cases where there are fraudulent transactions. Most of the fraudulent transactions are through the, if you ask me, the related parties. Through the related parties, you keep on taking out the money, and these are through the circular transactions or certain heavy cash withdrawals from here and there. All those kind of things do happen, and I think it's the duty of the auditor to report if he comes across those transactions. He's supposed to report those transactions under all circumstances, There's no doubt about it. And there could be extortionate transactions also, for that matter. That rather than paying somebody 10% of interest, you have been paying somebody 18% or that kind of a situation. So I will not like to explain those transactions. To me, the most important is what is the role of such auditors. The auditors have to be objective. Number one, in most of the buffet transactions audit, the auditor enters with a negative mind altogether. Yes, there is bound to be something wrong, because he knows that the case is under NCLT, and the petition has been admitted, and the corporate debtor is under a challenge. So he will definitely go with a negative mind. I personally feel rather than a negative mind, you must have the professional skepticism. When you have the professional skepticism, you will not only look at the transaction, you will go beyond a transaction basically. You have to have a sixth sense as to what could have actually prompted this kind of a transaction. Does that happen or doesn't that happen? I will not like to elaborate upon that. And I think RP or IRP have to be very, very clear about it, that if they have appointed somebody, in that case, his report has to be taken in that particular spirit. If he has actually unearthed some of the preferential transactions or undervalued transactions or fraudulent transactions, then I think all those transactions need to be reported in that particular manner to wherever these have to be reported. There is no question of suppressing that information under any circumstances. That's the way I look at it. Because one feels, number one, my challenge has been as an auditor, in all the cases the codes are being obtained, and the way the codes are being obtained for the fees, we all know what happens in that particular case. And when you obtain a code, you go to the lowest one for the reasons best known to everybody. And then the other person actually only does the work which that remuneration justifies. Because if you pay peanuts, you get the monkeys only. I'm very clear so far as that particular part is concerned. I think you need a good buffet transactions audit. You need to pay the auditor well. I think the biggest dilemma of the RP is that COC may or may not recommend, or may or may not accept that kind of a fee. And the auditor's dilemma is that if I'm not being paid well, I'm not being done justice so far as the payment is concerned. After all, there is a cost of the person. If you need a good professional, he has his own cost for that matter. First thing that the auditor has to do is he has to have an engagement letter, and then based upon that engagement letter, he goes ahead, does it, and whatever information he is unable to obtain because of the incomplete records, he must come out very clearly with some kind of a disclaimer on that. And if he finds something fraudulent, if he finds something undervalued, if he finds something which is, I will say, extortionate or preferential, he should be very clear in his qualification as to what has happened, but he must substantiate it. No report can be given based upon hunch. It cannot be based upon any surmises or conjectures, because you believe, yes, it could have been fraudulent or it could have been, you can say, undervalued. No way that you can do it. When you undertake this kind of an audit, you have to substantiate it with the facts and figures. And if you can't substantiate it with facts and figures, I think that report fails in the first instance itself. And wherever you are unable to obtain the information, then it is not a qualification. Then it has to be a disclaimer for that matter. So I think the auditors must also be very clear as to what is the difference between a disclaimer and the qualification. If you are able to unearth something which is fraudulent, which is extortionate, which is undervalued, or which is preferential, then it can be a sort with absolute substantive evidence. You must give a qualification so far as that particular part is concerned, as to what is the impact of that on the total financial position of the company and how much money has been siphoned off or how much money has been preferentially paid to the various people. And if you are unable to obtain the information, I think every auditor must keep on writing mails to the RP or IRP and tell him that this is the information that I require. There are cases where the data which is available with the RP itself is absolutely incomplete. And if the data is incomplete, there is no way that you can draw the conclusions rightly. I think that particular fact has to be brought on record that that data is incomplete. And sometimes probably there is a modification to the entire data. The auditor should be capable of really finding out whether the data at any particular point of time has been modified. And if it has been modified, what is the reliability of that particular data? That is something that the auditor will have to really look at. The other thing that one may like to say is that auditor is duty bound. That's the way I look at it. Is duty bound to cooperate with the RP under all circumstances. You can't take a plea that this much, once accepted an assignment for a particular remuneration, either you don't accept it, you quoted a particular amount, and having quoted a particular amount, if you have accepted an assignment, then the ethics require that you must do that job absolutely professionally and cooperate with the RP to provide the information whatever is required to him or by him under the circumstances, and particularly based upon the engagement letter which has been given to you and you have accepted that particular engagement. And if at all the RP is able to provide the information with regard to some of the disclaimers that you have given, you may look at it. You may say that initially this information was not available. I have taken more time now today because of a particular situation. You may ask for an enhanced fee. There's no doubt that there's no denying that particular fact. But you can't say that I have already done it. You may keep on providing me any information. I will not look at it now afresh. I have always believed in one particular fact, that if at all you give a report and the other person has got an explanation there too, you can't sit on the false egos that I will not do this or I will not change my report. Number one, before you submit the report, you should be discussing it with the RP himself. So far as I think there is another question which is always raised, whether the RP can ask for the working papers from the auditor. So this is a big question if you ask me. Now, if I go to the ethics say that you can't share your working papers with anyone unless this is required by the law. On the other side of it, I personally feel, who is RP? RP is now my client. It is not the company who is my client. RP has stepped into the shoes of the entire management. RP has substituted the management now. And if RP wants certain things to be explained as to how I have worked it out, I think I should be able to provide him that information. I don't think that I can sit on these, my code of conduct says this. There are certain cases also now where it is happening, and I think the courts will be very clear that if the client wants certain information, that how you have worked it out, I think I will have to provide that information as to how I have actually worked out a particular transaction to be preferential or undervalued or extortionate or in any other mode or fraudulent. I just can't write that a transaction is fraudulent. If I feel that a particular transaction has been routed to a related party, there are cases in the IBC today where circular transactions have taken place. I can quote you the cases where a particular party invested in the capital of a particular subsidiary. Now that subsidiary gave back that amount to the holding company back as a loan, and this again invested it into the subsidiary as share capital, And these kind of circular transactions kept on taking place. And what has happened in the bargain, the capital rose 4 times or 5 times. And on the other side of it, the advances were showed up. Now, if those kind of transactions have taken place, I think it is very clear. It's not siphoning off, but it is more of a window dressing, more of a fraudulent nature transaction, that you have tried to deceive the banks in those transactions. Because if the subsidy goes in for a loan and it says that it has got a capital of so much and it has given an advance of so much, you can very well look at, you may not route it directly to the holding company, you may route it to someone else to the holding company. Those circular transactions are taking place, and if you can actually prove it, and the RP wants to know how did you reach this, I think I am duty bound to provide him that information. How did I reach that particular part? There is no way that I can deny that kind of an information to the RP under any circumstance. That's the way I look at it. Of course, some of the auditors may have a difference of opinion so far as they are concerned, but I personally believe ethically, if I have done a job and someone wants a clarification with regard to that, and particularly my client wants the clarification with regard to that, I should be able to provide that clarification to the client in those cases. Word cooperation under section 19 can be interpreted in a very different manner also at times. Because if I read section 19, it talks of personal, but it talks mainly of the promoters or the management. Now, auditors are not the management. Let's be clear so far as that part is concerned. Now, auditor can very well argue that I am not supposed to cooperate in all the manners, but the auditor is supposed to cooperate with the RP whenever it comes to the audit part thereof. If I have been the statutory auditor of a particular company, in that particular case, if the RP wants certain information from me, I think I should be able to provide that information. If I look at the judgment given by, in the case of MP developers, I think the court has directed the auditors in the case of MP developers to cooperate with the RP and provide him all the requisite information, provide him with all the information with regard to the balance sheet or with regard to the P&L account. Auditor is also duty bound whenever he is the statutory auditor of such a company to look into the going concern assumption. I think most of the RPs will like to know from the auditor whether the company is a going concern or is not a going concern. But here I am trying to raise an issue, particularly with R.K. Gupta ji and Ashish ji and so many other friends being around. I would like to raise an issue. If you ask me hypothetically, if a case has gone to NCLT, either it will go for revival or it will go for liquidation at the end of the day. Now the auditor will have to judge whether a case is fit for revival or a case is fit for the liquidation. Now it's a very difficult decision for somebody to make. These will be the minutes of the COC, which will determine basically as to which direction the bankers want to go. If the bankers are willing to restructure it, bankers are willing to help out this particular project to be restructured and willing it to be revived, in that case it is a going concern. But if the bankers are saying, no, we are not willing to look at it again and we are not willing to finance it, I think the auditor will be well within powers, basically, and say that it is no more a going concern. But it's not an easy job. Let me be very clear about it. For any auditor to determine, even for a case under liquidation, whether it's a going concern or it's not a going concern, is very difficult. For the purpose of that particular company, it may not be a going concern. For that management, it may not be a going concern. But for the one who is going to take it over, look at the case of the JP Associates. I take up that particular case. Now, from the Gore's perspective, it may be different. But someone who is willing to take it up, who is willing to buy it, he will not buy it if it is going to be liquidated. He will buy it only if he can turn it around. For him, it is going to be a going concern in any case. I think that's a very, very important aspect, and that's a very important challenge. Now, the auditor may be well within powers to say that so far as risk management is concerned, it may not be a going concern. But this company can be revived in future because of the various assets, because of the willingness of the COC to restructure. If the COC is willing to restructure it with the same element, then in any case, it is a going concern. There's no doubt about it. But if the COC says that the management will have to undergo a change, someone will have to bid for it, and then we will revive it, then for this management, it is not a going concern. But for the RP, it is a going concern in any case, because he will be able to get the amount and he will be able to see that the company is revived. Now, Bhushan Steel, if it was not a going concern, I don't think JSW would have taken it. JSW took it up, absolutely turned it on, and now today the court says that we want the liquidation of this company. It's absolutely funny, if you really ask me. Now, when I talk of the going concern concept, I think this is one of the most important aspects, but this is one of the most difficult tasks for the auditors to comment upon. One of the challenges which any auditor, statutory auditor or any other auditor, for that matter, in case of such companies, is going to face, and RP is also going to face, how much creditors or how much debtors are going to give you the confirmations. The person who wants to claim from you may be able to provide you the confirmation. But the person who is to pay you, will he provide you the confirmation? I think that's a big challenge in itself. And when the person who is supposed to pay you does not provide you the confirmation, getting the provisions created, which means that if at all you have to reflect the true and fair view of a particular affairs of a particular company, is going to be a major challenge in that particular case. Because the creditors will like to, but in certain cases, even the creditors will not be forthcoming for certain reasons. I don't want to elaborate upon that. So I think getting confirmations from the various parties, to whom you have given advances. There are certain creditors to whom you have given advances. Now, whether those creditors will like to come forward and confirm that we have to pay you the money, it's going to be a major challenge, both for the auditors as well as for the RP. So I think the auditors are also in a dilemma. The dilemma, and the RP is also in a dilemma as to what is the real position. In most of these companies, particularly which are small, I will not talk of the bigger companies like Bhushan Steel, etc. In all those cases, probably the fixed assets records were available. But wherever the small corporate debtors are getting into problems, in all those cases, even the fixed asset records may not be available. And in some of the cases, you may find that the statutory auditors had been commenting earlier that the fixed asset register or the property, plant and equipment register requires updation. The moment he writes that it requires updation, it does not, it clearly means, it clearly reflects somewhere or the other that the fixed asset register was never updated, for that matter. Now, that's a big challenge in itself. And if you are unable to find out how many assets actually exist, I think for RP, it will be a Herculean task. And for that, he may have to engage some person to really look at it, that whether these fixed assets exist or don't exist. First, physical verification, then comparison with any fixed asset record, if at all it is available. And in some of the cases, you may not find even the fixed asset record available in certain situations, for that matter. And wherever today, the corporate debt is one where the intangible assets have been galore. I think this is the biggest challenge. Because when you talk of the intangible assets don't exist physically. And how those have been capitalized, if these were purchased, probably there could be certain justification for the capitalization. But if these were self-generated intangible assets, like some of the companies generate the software in their books of accounts, they capitalize the software which they develop for their own captive use. To what extent that happens, I think that's a major challenge. And how to value that intangible again, that's a major challenge. And in most of the cases, probably these may require write-offs. those kind of assets. So then another challenge that I think the RP and the auditors both will face is with regard to the income tax. Unfortunately, what is happening in these countries that the returns have not been filed, or if the returns have been filed, these are inaccurate. The poor RP or IRP keeps on making rounds to the income tax department itself. For what reason? Because for the income tax, whosoever is in the control of the affairs, he has to be served with the notice. I think somewhere or the other, the government will have to start thinking in terms of whether something requires to be done in this particular transaction or not required to be done. I think it's anybody's challenge, and I don't think the auditors can help, because in the case of the real estate companies in particular, there could be a lot of other litigations also, and those litigations may be of such nature that you may not even be able to find out what is the actual contingent liabilities in those. Forget about the real liabilities. You may not be able to even write what are the actual contingent liabilities, and in most of the cases you will find that the auditor will write the amount of the contingent liability is unascertainable. Now, this unascertainable amount itself is a dangerous danger signal so far as the organization is concerned. There could be challenges with regard to the, I think even the company law records for that matter. The companies may not have filed the annual returns, the company may not have filed the balance sheets, the company may not have filed the AGMs. And in that case, probably you may have to go to the NCLT for compounding also. These challenges will continue to exist till the time the government recognizes these challenges faced by the RPs and the auditors and come up with some kind of a solution. I think when we talk of ease of doing business, ease of revival of the business, somewhere or the other we require some kind of better approach in respect of these kind of situations. Only the time will tell. I personally feel, and I am hopeful, the Corporate Laws Committee of the Government of India, of which one has been a member. Of course, just a correction that I'm no more a member of part-time member of NAFRA, because I'm not more. It is my 50th year in practice, not 46. It was a slightly old biodata probably, which has been read. And NAFRA, I vacated my seat a year and a half back, so far as the part-time membership is concerned. Now, Corporate Laws Committee has been talking of decriminalization. Corporate Laws Committee has been actually recommending some kind of reforms. I think Corporate Laws Committee will start looking at these reforms also. What happens where the companies are under NCLT, under CIRP for that matter, and what happens in those cases. I think that's very, very important. I will like to stop here, very frankly, because I think whatever problems have been faced by the auditors or by the RPs or by this through the system, I've been able to elaborate upon them to an extent. But I personally feel, so far as the auditors are concerned, auditors need to cooperate with the RP. And the RPs need to be very, I think, objective in fixation of the fee for the auditors, irrespective of anything else. So that is where I will like to actually say thanks to Ashish ji and everyone else who has been there. My very sincere thanks, Ashish, again, for providing me the opportunity today to address the members.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So I think, Chopra ji, I think it has been a fantastic discussion and we have been very privileged to have you here. Would you like to take some questions?
No issue. No issue.
I think that's important.
To
So
the best of my ability. That's all I can say.
naturally. So we know your ability, sir, so you don't have to say anything on that. Friends, I think we have a huge personality who is not only experienced, I would say, when I simply talk, when I say that you see, wisdoms come from experience and experience comes from foolishness. We might be at the foolishness stage, but Mr. Chopra, Dr. Chopra is at wisdom stage. So I think let us take advantage of his wisdom today. If you have any questions relating to IP vis-a-vis auditors, I think that's the important subject today. He has already clarified insofar as working papers are concerned. As far as the duties of the auditors to cooperate, he must cooperate so that otherwise he can get in trouble with the NCLT also. Leave aside that, if you have still any questions relating to auditors and IPs, any practical situation, so I think you are free to ask any question to him.
Ashish, as I said, in the case of MP developers, NCLT has also already made it very clear
Correct.
that auditor can't say that I will not provide this information. I think they have been very, very clear that provide information to the
Right. In fact, sir, you raised a very pertinent point that in 1901, the word is personnel. In fact, I recall a case in 2017 when I was appearing before Justice M.M. Kumar, who was the president at that time. Of course, I was appearing on behalf of the RP, so we made even the auditor as a party because auditor was not cooperating. So the same question Justice Kumar asked me, he said, Mr. Makhija, first of all, please explain whether he is covered under 19.1 or not. Do you know, sir, what my answer was? I said, sir, let's not read 19.1, let's read 19.2 also. And 19.2 says every person who is required to assist and cooperate. Then Justice M.M. Kumar agreed. He said, all right, I agree with that, but tell me, under IBC, how auditor is supposed to cooperate. Then I took him to section 17, subsection 2, clause number D, where the auditor is word is used. So then he was convinced and he passed an order. Of course, we never wanted any acrimony with the auditors because they are all our friends. We are belonging to the same fraternity. I spoke to the auditor and the cooperation was there. So I think most of the IPs also will have to speak personally to the auditor. I think he is not your enemy. In fact, he is your friend. That is what my advice is. So
I personally feel, Ashish, that it is better that in your this kind of seminars, or some of the auditors also,
correct.
so that they are also apprised of what is the real position. Because normally the auditor feels that I'm not supposed to do it. Whereas I think one is duty bound. If you're talking to the management, after all, he is in the control of the affairs today. And if you are going to be paid by him only at the end of the day, you can't say, no, I will not tell you what has happened.
True.
That's the way I look at it.
I think that's a valid suggestion, sir. I think we must also invite the chartered accountants and auditors for these our webinars, and education and awareness is very important. Yeah, fantastic. Yes, friends, any questions for him? I think let's not waste that opportunity. We have a huge, huge opportunity. Anyone would like to ask some questions? Rashmi, I think one of the persons also mailed some questions. Do you have those copies of those questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have, sir.
Can you just read out?
Yeah, I'll just read out. So it is written that should only receipt and payment account be prepared during liquidation and CIRP?
I think this is a question by Manoj Anand, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
He messaged me that he has already forwarded few questions to you.
No, he has already forwarded those questions to me. You see, when you are under liquidation, you cannot be on accrual basis in any case. You have to be on receipt and payment basis, if you really ask me. So that's all I will like to answer it.
Right. Any questions, friends? I think it's a great opportunity for all of us. Ask questions to him directly because you might be facing some issues with the auditors. Yes, I think Mr. Manoj Anand already there. Yes, Manojji. You have to unmute yourself, Manoj. Can you unmute yourself?
Now you're allowed me. Rashmi ji, you can do one thing. What letter I have given to you, kindly read it for the benefit of all the IPs because those are the issues which you are facing. It's a normal issues we are facing while finalizing balance sheet during CRP and liquidation. Please read each and every line.
It's a disclosure requirement which you are asking, Manojji. I think Ind AS versus GAAP separately.
Yeah.
I will read it out, Manoj. I think I have got your question and then I would like to answer it one by one. No issue.
Friends, if anyone wants to be unmuted, they will have to raise their hand because then we will unmute.
What you are saying, Manoj, is auditors and IPs in CIRP duty disclosure and delivery, Ind AS versus GAAP separately. You see, it will depend upon which standard you are supposed to follow. If you are a listed entity, in any case, you will be based on India's. In that case, all those disclosures will have to be made. You have talked of whether it is 60% certain, 70% certain, 90% certain. That he will evaluate based upon the ECL model. Whatever ECL model, expected credit loss model he follows, he will definitely like to get the provisions created and then will disclose so far as his ECL model is concerned under those circumstances. Valuation of fixed assets, book value versus valuation report. You see, it will all depend upon that if I am treating it as a going concern, then I will like to go by the book value unless I have adopted a revaluation model for that. So this will all depend upon what kind of policies I have been following in the past also. And so far as determination of deferred tax liability is concerned, definitely it will have to be determined whether, depending upon whether I'm on Ind AS or I'm on AS 22. Now there could be certain smaller companies which are on AS, they will follow the Ind AS 22, and those companies which are on Ind AS, they will follow 12. Because when I go to the Ind AS 12, it is the balance sheet approach. When it goes to the Ind AS, it is balance sheet approach. When I go to the AS 22, it is the P&L approach for that matter. Now, should only receipt and payment account be prepared? I don't think in liquidation you can do anything else because you have to have only the receipts and the payments. Because in liquidation, even the assets have to be valued on a realizable basis for that matter. You can't have it on the other basis. As a matter of prudence also, that will be required. Auditor report, proposed disclosure. Wherever you are expecting losses, you will definitely disclose those losses. There is no doubt about it. Because that is what the prudence also requires, what the standards also require in those cases. Notes to accounts, yes, all those disclosures which can explain your position better. I talked of litigation also. Those disclosures will have to be made under those circumstances. Not able to file annual returns, etc. Where the company secretary is not there of the company, get a practicing company secretary and ask him to sign it and file the annual returns if it can be filed with the late fees, etc. The point is, if the AGMs have not been held, then probably you have to go to the NCLT in that case. That is the only difference. Otherwise, you can file the documents with the late fee. So that is where I will like to stop so far as your questions are concerned.
Right. Okay. So I think, Rashmi, I think you can
Yes, sir.
get the screen. Sir, we are showing a memento on screen virtually, but we will deliver it to you physically. We'll definitely deliver it to you physically. So on behalf of IPNet, please accept this on our behalf.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank you very much, Ashish.
the
My
form-
sincere gratitude to you.
No, sir, I've not even finished now. Give me some time. So not as an organizer of the webinar, particularly as a head of IPNet, but as someone who has known you personally for over 25 years, I think I'm immensely, it's a very proud moment and I'm very joyous in expressing this vote of thanks. Sir, your presence as your chief guest and a keynote speaker is not only an honor for IPNet, but also a very meaningful moment for all the IPs who are present there. And your address on auditors' role in CIRP, well, as always, it was thought-provoking. It was honest to the core and uncompromisingly rooted in professional integrity. Well, that is the quality probably that has defined your entire journey, as I know. Friends, I recall, you see, somewhere in near 2000, I get a call at 9 o'clock in the evening, and he tells me that Ashish, you have to be ready. We have to leave tomorrow 4 a.m. And I did not ask where we have to leave, but I got ready at 4 a.m. The car came. That was at that time, it was an ambassador car because he's fond of traveling in ambassador car. He picked me up from my home and we went and traveled all the way to Amritsar for a lecture for a West seminar. And on way, I came to know that there is a seminar. So friends, that kind of a confidence, that kind of a trust we had with each other. And of course, after that, we did a lot of number of webinars. He has been always been a mentor. Yes, and it has always been a great learning for me. And in fact, in one of those journeys, while coming back, I came to know that he is also a very good singer. So that is a quality and a talent which nobody knows, but probably I know that. So friends, I think this was a privilege today. his unwavering commitment to the profession, his boldness in calling out uncomfortable truths. I think these are some qualities which I think people have to imbibe, because ethics have become very important today, whether as a chartered accountant, whether as a cost accountant, company secretary, or insolvency professional. His ability to speak with clarity, courage, and conviction, I think, has personally inspired me at all the time. And probably I think it resonates with every professional who is in this room. Thank you, sir, for always being a guiding force, for your wisdom, for your support, and of course, the friendship over these years. I truly remain grateful. It was honor to have you us with this today. Thank you so much for sparing such a valuable time, sir. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now you can take it forward.
It was a great, enriching learning from Dr. Amarjit Chopra. Now, before we begin our next segment, it's time to spotlight something truly groundbreaking. Introducing Casey's, India's first AI-powered IBC case navigator by transition, simplifying legal research with speed, intelligence, and precision. Let's take a quick look at how Casey's is transforming the way we understand case law. Thank you, team. Sir, would you like to say something about this cases?
No, I think
Ashish?
we'd already had a wonderful webinar on that. The only thing which I would like to mention is that yesterday I was at Triple IPI ICI seminar speaking on evolving jurisprudence, and I took help of this particular software or the application. And I think it made my job much, much easier, friends. You ask any question from that particular case law, it is not an open AI, it is a very well trained AI from the database. It contains almost around 30,000 judgments under IBC. And the moment you ask even a small question, the facts of the case start from which para, it will take you to that para. What were the precedents which were relied upon in this judgment? It will give you a list of the cases which have been quoted in this judgment, along with the citation number if you want. You want to ask who is the corporate debtor in this case, who are the appellants in this case. I think that makes the job much, much easier. I think when I shared this with Rashmi Chacharia, who is the anchor today, do you know what she said? She said AI does this job fantastically well, and it is analyzing in a very, very fantastic manner, but it does not analyze the way you analyze. But let me tell you, friends, that I have actually supported this where the, like you can say that they have picked my brain also on analyzing. So I have given my inputs, and I think this the software has been developed based on those inputs. So anyhow, friends, the link will be there in the chat box. So if you are ready to pre-book it, pre-booking probably, I believe it is only for 2 days. Monday, those who have already pre-booked and those will be booking, it will be access will be given to them from Monday onwards, 23rd June. I think that's a fantastic thing. Okay, go ahead. Now, okay, Mr. Kanuparthi has raised his hand. Do you want to say something, sir?
This is only a confirmation from Dr. Amarjit Chopra that liquidator need not file I mean, only resistant payments. A burning topic to most of us on income tax department raising, asking us to file returns. I mean, it may not be directly linked to this, but since you are there, I thought of using that authority statement from Dr. Chopra. And we have to tell income tax department not to trouble us for filing returns.
Right. I think there are two very learned speakers are there. Let them present their matters, and I think all of us must share our experiences, right? So we must encourage the speakers and also take benefit of them. Yes, Rashmi, over to you, please.
Thank you, sir. Now I'll like to invite the moderator Sandeep Chitkara ji to introduce our first panelist of the day, IP Geeta Sridhar, and invite her for presentation. IP Sandeep Chitkara ji, please.
Yes, thank you, Rashmi. Thanks again. So it's my pleasure to introduce our fellow IP, Mrs. Geeta Sridhar. She's our first panelist of today's webinar, and she's going to speak on the topic CIRP execution, practical tools and tactics. So this is the topic she has taken. And so let me introduce her briefly. So her academic record is excellent. She is member of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India as well as of Company Secretaries of India. She is a registered insolvency professional. She is a registered valuer with IBBI, Master of Business Administration from UK. She is LLB from Bangalore University, and she is BCom from University of Madras. So as regards her professional experience, she has got 20 plus years of rich experience in corporate laws, corporate finance, IBC, valuation of shares, etc. She has held senior positions as a company secretary and compliance head for over 20 years. Currently, she is handling CIRP as insolvency professional, and she is also providing advisory services to insolvency professionals. She has handled various valuation assignments, mergers, and liquidation, and she has helped fellow valuation professionals in financial modeling for SFA assignments. And moreover, last but not the least, she is a faculty for various professional institutes like ICSI, IICA, and other valuation institutes. So let us all welcome her for her address. Now it's over to Mrs. Geeta Sridhar.
Thank you, Sandeep ji. Very good evening to all of you. See, instead of looking at a blank wall, I thought I will put a small PPT so that you will get connected. So I'm just sharing my screen.
And friends, in the meantime, can I request everyone to please open their videos for a better interaction, right? Thank you so much.
See, today I'm going to talk about a very important topic on CIRP execution, the various tools that we can use and the tactics that we have followed. Whatever I'm going to discuss in the form of tactics, people would have undergone in a different fashion. But then I'm going to share my experience, and probably you may have encountered in it a different way and handled it in a different way, that we'll handle it at the time of Q&A. See, as representation professionals, we actually play a very pivotal role in steering this ARP process, because we have to maintain the time, the transparency, and then also the outcome, the effective outcome of the whole process. So it is a multifaceted challenge for us in the form of legal, financial, operational, and stakeholders related issues. So the act by itself, the code and the regulation by itself has given us certain tools, like in the form of information memorandum, which is very, very critical for enabling potential resolution applicants to assess the CD. And then the invitation for resolution plan, which has to be in accordance with the code and the regulations. Then we have the most important thing, the claims management, including collation of claims, verification, admission of claims, etc., etc. Then we have the committee of creditors meeting that we have to do on a periodic basis for the decision making and various approvals. Then we have the evaluation and approval of resolution plan. We all know this is a very, very important job of an RP, where it involves applying the evaluation metrics and ensuring compliance with section 30, subsection 2, and so on. Then goes the monitoring and the implementation, because this is a very, again, the closure process, which is very important for the successful resolution and the new applicant coming into the company. And then we all know that there are specialized softwares available in the market where you can use it for case management, for claim verification, timelines, compliance tracking, COC communication, etc. These are ready-made things, and these are the execution tools that we have to necessarily comply. But then I've brought in few things that we as an RP has to evolve onto ourselves these things. That is, these are the traits that we have to develop to to be very successful in the process. We have to rely on ourselves. What is that I'm going to talk about? See, we are accountable for everything that is going to take place in the CIRP process. So it is better that we rely on ourselves and personally go through the details so that we are not caught anywhere. And you be your leader, because this comes out of passion. See, any company which is in trying times, we are going to help them come out of the process is actually it has to be, you have to be very, very passionate about the role. So that should be a genuine, it gives you a genuine satisfaction. And because you are going to guide a business through the trying times, and you are also going to put out your best possible outcomes for the stakeholders. Adaptability. Here, what I am going to say is that our ability to shift gears with changing circumstances and new information new information that is going to be in front of us. Effective communication. One of the best thing that we have to have, or we have to adapt, is basically this, because there's going to be a lot of information that we'll be giving out to the various stakeholders. Some would read a detailed one, some would need a concise one. So we have to be very, very clear. The communication has to be very clear, concise, easy to comprehend. Because by what happens is that by virtue of writing again and again, we start using technical jargons, but then we have to avoid all of them, basically because when you communicate, you have to put yourself on the other side and see, if I write like this, would the other person be able to receive it the same way that I have conveyed it? So that way communication becomes very, very essential. Again, there's going to be regular updates that has to be given to various stakeholders. So we'll have to take care of that. The most important part of communication is listening, ability to listen. There will be a lot of concerns for the stakeholder. There will be a lot of questions. So you have to give them opportunity. We have to listen to them. We have to address their concerns in a very, very transparent manner, very promptly, and of course, with an amount of empathy and understanding. So that's very, very important. This will help us to build the trust, help them to, in fact, get a trust on us and foster a collaborative environment, which is very, very essential for CIRP to run. Attention to details. Here again, you have to do your own diligence, because you have to have the ability to focus on the most overlooked aspects of a task. You have to prevent mistakes. So this will typically help you to be careful and exacting the approach towards the solution. And this would not only do this, we would also be able to be more effective and bring out accurate results for the overall success of the assignment. Then I've said very openly, I've said own your mistakes, because when you've made a mistake, please accept it, rectify it, move forward. So everybody has to do, because we have to be very humble, because this is a very, very serious assignment. Then comes confidentiality, that we all know that we have to maintain sensitive information, which is a very, very essential thing. Analytical ability and problem solving skills. Again, you have to have a proactive mindset coupled with flexibility to adapt strategies when circumstances change. That is a hallmark of excellence for a RP in times of trying times in terms of the corporate data. Then I'm going to talk about the operational tools. We've been talking, the first one I showed was the tools that was available to you. Now, as an RP, what and all you can do to keep this process going. So these are, I've named it as execution strategies, because early and accurate collection of data becomes very, very important, because we have to have a robust system for collecting financial, operational, legal data. We have to engage proactively with promoters, financial institutions, stakeholders to mitigate information asymmetry, which is very, very important. Then the next important point is the non-cooperation by suspended directors. Most of us would have faced this, and everybody would know where to go. But then before we go to that place, let us try and see whether we'll be able to get all those data from the ROC records, GST returns, any other public portal, everything. And then we can even engage professionals to recover and reconstruct the information. And then, of course, we are not barred from approaching the regulators, which would be the last but the effective step before we can really move on with the next process. The resilience is the most important thing. I'll tell you why I have put in this word, because we are always fraught with unexpected challenges. It requires an RP to remain mentally resilient and agile, because every time you will be caught unawares. See, there could be some last minute objections, some attempts to derail the process. I'll share my experience in a while from now. okay, then there could be, so you have to put in a discussion, you have to be very swift, and you have to put out a strategic response. So there, the data collection and the strict timelines would definitely have a hurdle, because you are going to be hit everywhere, because there's going to be a resistance at some place. So you have to have enough channels to collect information, leverage them to gather, to make out the information, to do the process effectively and promptly. So a thorough understanding of the industry, then its stakeholders, becomes equally crucial, because only then you will be able to anticipate problems and address the potential issues effectively. Say, for example, there are small farmers who may come in, or home buyers who can be affected, labor unions, laborers. So because they are very, very fragile, so they will definitely become unrest, when things are not happening their way, or when they feel that they are not, when that confidence is dropped. So sensitivity and tact are the two essential things you have to hold on to yourself when you are addressing their grievances to maintain operational stability. Transparency, again, as a RP, you have to have a very, very important thing, because it is essential to ensure all the significant data that you have to hold it. And then when you are facing a significant issue, then you have to go to the COC and inform them as to how exactly you are going to handle it. So it is very critical to hold on to the COC meeting for maintaining accountability and fostering collaboration. The key decisions made in consultation with the COC, ensuring a collective approach to resolving challenges, is very important. Transparency not only builds confidence, but it also mitigates disputes and misunderstandings. Of course, the number of litigation that you will have at the end. Then planning for a timely completion of CIRP. There again, see, because we all know 180 days, and you all know the time flies like anything. The moment CIRP starts, you'll be there at the 180th day. Then you'll have to also possibly work for the extension up to 280 days. It is very crucial that you have to be familiar with the industry dynamics, the CD operates for preparing the documents such as the information memorandum, the RFRP, that is the request for resolution plan, eligibility criteria, evaluation matrix, etc. Because those are very, very important. So you have to have a proactive mindset among your team members, which is very, very key to preparing all these documents. So because the CRP process touches various areas, including COC meetings, then timelines, valuation, factory site issues, investor engagement, ongoing legal matters, and so on and so forth. There are so many things. Then the next most important thing is the human resource. We all know how easy or how difficult it is to manage human resources, because they are the ones who can think, and they are the ones who can create a lot of trouble for us. So employee buy-in, retention and employee buy-in is very, very important for business continuity. Again, in a stressed environment, what happens is that insolvency professionals will always have a big challenge in terms of managing the human capital, because they have to, we have to proactively engage with them to negotiate, and then accept, help them understand the significance of the process, and then accept the new roles that they are going to get, the salary structure, etc., etc., and then the need for the project deadlines to be complied with. Again, from on our personal side, the team management, that is, we have to have a very, very effective team, and then you have to assign specific responsibilities to each of the team members, so that the process will move on very comfortably, for interacting with the promoters, gathering data, protecting and taking possession of the assets, drafting IM with accuracy and with verified information, communication with ex-employees. All these have to be done. So we have to be very, very, very diligent in doing all these. Then recasting and auditing of accounts. I will discuss here, and then I'm going to give you a real life situation as well here. Because we all know the biggest challenge for an RP is going to be this accounting, the accounts and the data there. We should be able to collect all the documents, that is, retrieve the invoices, vouchers, orders, etc. Especially when there is going to be multiple locations and a manufacturing unit as per se. And then we can do reconstruction using GST data, whether it is physical documents or restate, and then you can restate the accounts. Then last but not the least, we have to engage an auditor to do the accounting aspects of it. So with this, these are the tools that we can use. But then as an RP, what did we do to successfully run a process? So these are our tactics that we used. And then this is what this is my last slide. And this is where I'm going to spend 5-10 minutes on this to explain how exactly we did in these things. And then probably I can also listen to you for what you did in these situations. See, what had happened was IT and ITS, which is very important, because server data and web domain are very two important things that we have to definitely retrieve when you get into a CIRP process. Because as an insolvency professional, we are expected to deal with large volume of information and data relating to the stressed company. So effective utilization of information and data management plays a very, very critical role because we have to use all of them into, put out an MIS, timely communication with stakeholders, and compliance under the applicable laws, etc., etc. I am going to talk about a live experience in one of our cases. Because efficient resource utilization is going to be the cornerstone for an insolvency professional's entrepreneurial journey. Because you have to effectively navigate the complex process, generate value, and pay way for a bright future for the distressed entity. That is the object, right? So what had happened was, in one of the cases, that was the third time the company was going into CIRP. So what really happened was, and there was also a court case running wherein the management had come in and said that the server room had a fire accident and all the data is gone. And incidentally, all the three times, we were the RP for the company. And then when we went for the third time, we wanted to do a small thing. We did a registry audit. I'll tell you what we did. We actually ran through the server data to see what has happened in the last 2-3 days. Exactly the night previous to our visit to the corporate editor, the tally data has been completely deleted and then put in a fresh data. And then when we found out that, we immediately used the recovery tools and brought the tally data back, because we don't know whether that was the right tally data. That's a different issue. But then when we found out that the data has been deleted, we immediately used the recovery tools to get the data back to the system. So this registry audit can always be an important thing, because once you get into the server, we will know what has happened to the data. The quality of data can be validated there. That is one experience that we had. Then the next on the GST. See, this is a very important thing, because this company had 17 GST registrations. And because the company had been on and off this ARP process, GST amounts were not paid. So the e-way bill generation was stalled. But then this is a running company, so they had orders, large scale orders to be done. So that is when we had no choice, we went to NCLT, and that challenge with against the GST authorities with the NCLT only led to this order being that the GST department passed an internal thing wherein when the company is in insolvency, new registrations can be obtained. So that was the landmark thing that we that we did when we were the RP. Then the next important thing is HR. We all know HR issues will always be there. Before we conclude, we should not hesitate to go to the tribunal when we will not be able to solve the issues, because all our approaches to GST authorities, sitting with them, meeting the topmost officials, nothing worked. So we had no choice but to reach the doors of the NCLT. Believe me, the assistant commissioner was present in the hearing, and the hearing went for almost like 6 hours. And then he was there throughout the hearing, and then finally we got the required solution for us. Then when it came to the HR, the company, again, being a manufacturing company, they had a registered union. So what had happened was, in one of the units, only in one of the units, fortunately for us. So there was a steep hike of raw materials, and then so we were forced to stop the production because there was no market for the finished goods. So what we did was, for some time we stopped the production, but then there was somebody who came for a job work assignment. So we signed up with them for a job work. What had happened was, immediately the labor union woke up and said, see, because they were chilling out for 2-3 months. And then when we wanted them to work, and then they came out with large demands to say, you'll have to give me OT, you'll have to give me this allowance, that allowance, uniform allowance, this, that. Now they came with 120 requirements. And then we sat with them, and we made them understand the significance of this. And then we moved on, and we made them, and we brought them to our working site. Then the valuation challenge, I'll tell you again an important thing. What had happened was, when we approached the bankers, because we collect data from all the sources, when we approached the bankers gave us only some 17 or 18 locations for valuation process. But then what had happened was, then I found out when we were doing the payroll and other things, that we saw too many locations, payments coming in. Then what had happened was, incidentally, we were ran through all the data that was available. And then there was insurance records that was available to the company. where they had insurance done for at 32 different locations with the list of plant and machinery available there, including the value of the building, etc., etc. So we used up all of them, and then we helped the valuers to conduct the valuation assignment and complete it for us in time. So then again, we had a challenge of shifting office, because we all know, see, we will all say we are all in CIRP, so the owner should not come out to say you should not shift office and all that, which is not the case. In our case, what had happened was we didn't have a choice, so we were to shift because the owner was not in terms with the CD. So the CD and owner had so much of trouble that we were forced to shift the office. But then incidentally, the banker stood by our side. They said, "You please look for an office and shift." And we had ensured that not even one piece of paper was missed anywhere. And then we brought everything, we indexed it, we boxed it, we packed it and brought it, and it was under our custody till it was handed over back to the CD. And then some of the data where we don't need, but then the company had, we hired a container, we dumped everything, made an index, and pasted it inside the container, because when I pasted outside the container, you know what would have happened to that. So we pasted the entire list inside the container and used it using our lock and key. And then we brought the data and we held the data till we
Geeta
would
ma'am,
have
we are
had
not
a
able
different
to.
ones. What happened?
Actually,
Your screen got held up.
Oh, where was it? It was at the concluding part, or did you miss something from my side?
no, at the concluding part only, and now your slide is, we cannot see your slide.
Yeah, I'm done. So,
Okay.
so these are the tactics that we adopted as a RP to navigate and run through the process. So thank you all for the opportunity. Hope I made sense for all of you.
Geeta man, this was actually very good practical experience which you shared with us. So thank you so much for that. Over to Rashmi.
Thank you, Sandeep ji. Keeping the essence of time, now I'll invite Sandeep ji to. Okay, now I'll myself introduce the second panelist speaker, Ms. Tina Saraswat Pandey. So our second speaker for the day is IP Tina Saraswat Pandey. She has more than 21 years of experience as a chartered accountant and an active insolvency professional since 2017. She is also a DISA qualified insolvency professional, qualified independent director, certified mediator. As an insolvency professional, she has completely resolved all her cases till date, being it CIRP or liquidation, including the 12A withdrawal and resolution plans. She is one of the first female IP of Central India registered with triple IP ICI, leading insolvency professional in Indore and MP. She has also appeared as a practicing chartered accountant in NCLT on behalf of her petitioner and respondent. The major insolvency cases handled by her are running on ongoing 4-star hotel, running a biggest shopping mall of Bhopal, turnaround of insolvency packaging unit and Pithampur profitable unit. Apart from these, handled soya units, gear units, automotive units, and 5-star hotels, malls, and dal mills, etc. She is also vivid speaker, rendered lectures, training to various insolvency professionals in Mumbai, Bangalore, and Indore. Above all, she is also our own IPNet member. Thank you, Tina, for being here today. I request now to take it ahead. Tina. Tina, are you here?
Yes, I was not allowed to unmute myself actually
Okay.
because I'm not host now. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you so much. Thank you, Makija sir and IPNet for giving me an opportunity to speak on this platform in front of all my fellow colleagues. Hope I'm audible, Rashmi.
Yes, very much audible.
Yes, very much.
Thank you, sir. So my topic for today is CIRP success, planning, process, and pitfalls. My dear friends, success is one of those words that carry different meanings depending on who you ask. But at its core, success is the achievement of a desired goal or outcome. Success is reaching a state where you are proud of what you have become and grateful for the path that took you there. Success here means doing the task to the best of your capabilities. Once you set that parameter, you should always be happy. So, my dear friends, I believe in that. CIP success doesn't mean that there should be a resolution or liquidation successful, but that should be a successful run of the process and smooth, successful run of the process. So, as per the topic, success of the CRP as depends on the planning, and the planning that is based on knowledge of rules, regulation, practical application of that knowledge, management skills, psychological state and strength of the IP, never giving a spirit. So, how to start? Like planning. Planning, how to do the planning while planning for any CRP, starting a CRP, you should not forget that the only person responsible for the conduct of CRP is RP. So anyhow, whatever work you delegate, that for that also a complete supervision is required, complete monitoring is required, and you should not forget you are the only one who is responsible for every small thing. So, beginning with the CRP, we have to start with the publication, and most of the IPs are worried ki how to do the publication. See, we are a trustee; we should not spend so much of amount on publication. So, starting of the publication should be at minimum cost and wide circulation newspaper. Wide circulation ka you can see the meaning, because I started with seeing the meaning. What does it mean by wide circulation? So I don't contravene the regulation and at the same time it has been circulated at a minimum cost to everyone as per the regulations. Then taking over custody and control, how to plan. See, I have taken possession of a mall. I have taken possession of a hotel. I have taken possession of closed units. So how do I plan taking the possessions? Take a good team members, limited number, 5 to 7. Keeping in mind the size of the unit, don't consider yourself as the somebody who can alone barge in anywhere. Give due respect and regards to the promoters also, because you are only a process supervisor. You are nothing. You are a trustee. So please keep it in mind, because most of the RPs, what they think, they become the owners, like no, they have the same attitude. So we start with sending intimation to the promoters, suspended management. Then we send an intimation ki see so and so date we will be visiting at so and so time. Then, out of courtesy, we make a call to them. Okay, sir, we will be visiting at so and so date and time. Is it okay with you? And if they say that postpone it for 1 or 2 days, my dear friends, please acknowledge they were somewhere the owners, and their convenience and comfort should also be seen to an extent. If 1 2 days postponement won't affect anything in the CRP, but you should take custody, control, and possession in the presence of the suspended management. My dear friends, I would like to discuss with you one of the cases in which it was very difficult. A unit which was running was closed during CRP by the IRP, and around 25 guards were deployed. Everything was tussle, and nobody was able to handle. It was COVID time. Then I was approached by bank, ki, Madam, will you be able to handle it? Because there is a lot of tussle between the existing IRP and the suspended management. So I said, sir, I will be able to do it. How I did? Because same person who had a rift with the erstwhile IRP, but he cooperated with me. So what is the work of IRP is management, and how we manage the things and how we get our work done. We have not only opened that unit, we have re-employed the people, we have run the unit successfully and sold the successful unit as a going concern during liquidation. What I did, see, the erstwhile RP was wanted to throw out the suspended management. Now it was a running unit. Throwing out doesn't solve the purpose. And why to throw out? Their duties still remain intact with the company. So why not to use their knowledge and skills for the benefit of the CRP? Nobody says that you should give any benefit to them. But why not to use their skills in running? They were the CEOs, they were the managers. I deployed them there. I asked them to sit there only and supervise the process and run the company as they were doing. But everything was under my supervision and control. There were CCTV cameras, my guards were deployed, and one of his loyal person. You must be thinking ki there are the loyal people of the promoter. So how you plan to manage those loyal person? That loyal person only I delegated the responsibility. See, you also have to sign if something goes out along with my guards. You are also equally responsible if anything is moved out of the premises. So in that way, he was a duty bound towards me, and we were continuing him because we can't expel any of the employees as per the norms. We have to continue with them. So by entrusting them this task and making the suspended management also sit there under our supervision, we have ensured one thing: there will be no theft, there will be no rift, because they are under our supervision and they are sitting there. If they are sitting outside, they will make some nuisance. So this way we managed, and our guards used to report us everything which used to go out of the premises. Without my permission, nothing was going out. And that person who was very, very loyal now was reporting, signing with his name, number, and photo. Whatever item was being removed, he used to take a picture with that item. Ki, see, madam, this is the item and this is the number and invoice. So this way we have entrusted and we have turned around everything. So, dear friends, there is no rift and no promoters who are so agitated or always having a gun towards the RP. They are nothing like that. They are also human beings. They have constructed a unit. So, you have to understand the psychology of each person and manage it accordingly. That is how we did it. Then, taking control and custody, we take a technical person with us because we as an RP are not expected to be a technical expert. So we take a technical person with us who can chart out the plant machinery and other details. So the and with pics and marking of every item or plant and machinery, we do marking and we take the pic of that. This way we used to take control, custody, and everything. Now, my friends, what does the CIP process goes? How the CIP process should be run? So, claim verification. I have many case laws. In my cases itself, whereas workman's due, which I have duly rejected, and that was upheld till Supreme Court also, and many other cases also. Only one thing we have to keep in mind: कि don't admit a claim which is not acceptable. Admit only to an extent which can be verified, and keep rest of the amount under verification. Because once you accept and reject, that will be a big issue. That will point out on your capabilities. So I always accept only to an extent which is acceptable, and rest I don't immediately reject. I give the other party an opportunity to present the data document. And if they present, it is okay. If they don't present, it is under verification. And most important thing, which has saved me, and it was shown on the screen also in NCLT many times. I have always put a remarks in IBBI claim list, correct remarks. Key data documents are called for, and this claim may undergo changes on receipt of additional data, document, and information. So we have to be very clear and specifically state, and even any claim which you receive, ESIC, EPF, whatever claim, put a note in the claim list. You see, this claim has been received of this amount. It is not in proper form, and documents are called for, and we have not admitted. By putting a note, we are saved. If some IM is circulated with this claim list, we have conveyed the exact situation to the purchaser, prospective applicants. So anyhow, nothing will come to the RP. So what I believe in, written communications, paperwork will only help RP. Verbal communication won't save you at all. So, my dear friends, keep a good trail of your work. No need to be involved in conflict with anyone. We are only a neutral person or trustee to run a process. Don't get personally involved. Involved to an extent of rules, regulation, and whosoever in the world may record your call, there should be nothing in the call. Even we faced a situation because we started from 2017-18. People were recording call of RPs. Many took our recorded calls to bank, and I was 500% sure there was nothing because we always speak correctly, legally. We faced the situation where the workers were there. They used to threaten us. We said we will do whatever is legally allowed. You record whatever you want to record. We can't go beyond legal provisions. This they took to the bank. See, she is saying. So they said she is correctly saying she will do as per law. Why she will do out of law? So these are the things which we initially faced because it was an initial phase, and maybe now many RPs must also be facing. But we are perfectly sure. Even we ask people, please record it because we say speak correctly and legally. We are not scared. So an RP should be fearless because we are honest, we are neutral person, we should not fear. We should do our task legally. Stage 2 of the process is minutes. They are the soul of CIRP. My minutes have saved me in all my cases, and because it should be properly recorded. And my dear friends, 50-20 pages minutes is not required. Let us have a crisp short minutes, because the lengthy the minutes are, the more the chances of errors, mistakes are there. Short and crisp. What do you mean by minutes? Minutes is a short record of the proceedings of the meeting. I record, and many of my friends must have faced. We get a mails again and again, again and again, either from COC, suspended management, or anyone. Record this, record that. This was also discussed. That was also discussed. We never change. We record the proceedings, not any afterthought email of so and so person, whosoever it may be. Don't be scared. We will not get an assignment in future. You should be scared of doing wrong things. Be legally compliant and be fearless and face anyone in this world. We used to get, I was aware in one of my cases, after dropping minutes, second day I will get a mail of long one page. Record this, we said this also, we said that also, we said this. No problem. I wrote only one line. I have recorded the proceedings of the meeting, whatever actually happened in the meeting. Please take note of it. That is it. Because if the RP, if bends for one person, he will continuously keep on bending. And why should we do something wrong? Let us be legally compliant and fearless. Let us do our work. Truth alone triumphs. My words may appear ornamental to you and very flowery, but I really enjoyed this work a lot because now I have that capacity to predict what other person will be doing. So I could predict and tell, see, I will get this now, they will do this. And they used to do, but I was always prepared because we know we have to do it correctly. We need not to bow down to anyone. We have to survive in this profession for ourselves, not for one or two or three people, bankers, right? We will get work if we will do things correctly. And truth is what is reflected in minutes, my friends, not what you may say verbally in the court or anywhere. In one of the cases, which was not my cases, one RP has mentioned so and so party has left the meeting. Then he never wrote that they came back. So they took the advantage that, sir, we were never a part of bidding. Because prior to bidding, we left the meeting. See, RP recorded. RP failed to record that after discussion of COC, they were called back in the meeting. So don't record too much to harm ourselves or record exact accurate things. These things may matter because that time it was rebidding was done in this matter, my friends. Because that person wrote XYZ left the meeting. Then the COC discussed and MN person was called and the bidding was complete. So XYZ said, I was never a part of the bidding, sir. See, minutes I left and never came back. Then sir also told NC court also, where did he come back? He didn't come back. So this is the thing happening, and it is so record the minutes properly. that are the soul. And crisp and short recording so that you can also review and it is correctly recorded. In short, I will describe few things. Peaceful and harmony in COC. My friends, we are the chairperson. Don't don't promote any fight between the COC members, nor between promoters, suspended managements, and COC. I myself took a stand. Even I stopped many of the XYZ members of the COC. See, maintain the decorum in the meeting. Fight in the court of law. Indulge in legal fight. But here, please deal only with the process. Don't deal with your personal grudges. Nor use this COC meeting a platform to fight. So many of the people might got upset, but I have maintained my decorum. See, don't we as an RP have to maintain peace? We have to maintain our tone and also other people's tone. Whoever it is, even a promoter or suspended management, whoever it is, he is a human being, he is sitting in your meeting. Legal fight is open for all now. They can do anything in the legal fight. They can defeat. Why to defeat in the meeting by words? It doesn't help. It derails the process. And not to get angry, though this skill has been developed by me after a passage of 2, 3, 4 meetings, and I used to get angry quickly. Then I thought, no, we should not get angry. We are at a seat when nothing should affect us because we have done our work correctly. We should maintain our peace of mind. And other person, if they are angry, we should calm them down because it is nothing personal. It is only, even if they blame you, you should smile and say, please sir, fight in the court and win against us if we are wrong. Please maintain your words. This is the way we started dealing, because every RP faces now allegations, all this. We should not become furious. After a few COC meetings, I have developed this habit. It was not on the spot itself that the first COC meeting I was like this. No, calmness and peacefulness, I have developed it over a period of time. uh, People do blame, do many things, and that's how I started fighting as a counsel also, because I have developed a habit of smiling and listening to the allegations and everything. So we should just listen and overlook it and ask them, please fight in the court of law, sir. And we are willing to reply there. And there is nothing to be replied here. Because why to derail the process? Why should we engage in a conversation which is useless? Good communication skills. We should know how to convince and how to manage all the different kind of personalities coming in the COC. Some may ask you so many questions, but don't get agitated, angry, because some of the people may not aware of the regulations. This I have also learned, because bankers have so many works to do, or any other COC member or a promoter or suspended management. They may ask, what is this regulation? So don't get agitated. Explain to them properly. Nothing wrong in that. And don't forget that you are a trustee. You are not the owner of the company. Don't stop work in the absence of documents. Let the process go on. See, the easiest thing in this life is to say no. I can't do it. This is not available. That is not available. This is bad. That is bad. Yes, entire world is bad, but we have to run our process. So we have to run it anyhow. Get XBRL, get this, write to the different banks, get the documents. If you don't get it, is okay, but do all the efforts. Don't leave any stone unturned. Then I will move to the other part, like pitfalls. See, RP is alone. We receive non-cooperation from the promoters. Even the issue of theft, I have dealt. Some people tried to barge in the closed entity. Then we got the FIR complaint registered. We had a premise where part was occupied by third person. There is a case law also there. We got it vacated. But the only thing that we didn't do, we fought legally, but not verbally, because we are not required. We are trustees, we are a legal person, we are sitting on the chair of a chairman. Let us maintain the decorum and indulge in all the legal work which is required to be done. But do it to your best. Don't compromise in that. And insurance, what happened in one of my going concern factories, that was a fire. Now, as you, as an RP may feel, Array, we will send our associate. No. Even if it is a small issue, you are the RP. I went on my own. I have seen things from my angle, resolved it, even and got the insurance person visit and everything done. So if you take an assignment, don't take it with a view to delegate. Take the responsibility, take the pain. Right? Otherwise, it is very difficult for us to manage with any other person who is going, because third party will never be responsible for whatever they do on your behalf. And we had various licenses also. We have run a hotel, so we had a liquor license renewal also. So I went for that also. So many works we have done as a RP, and we have run a running unit. All the day going incoming and going of raw material was there, but we have adopted a system that not even a single thing should move out without my permission. And workers, we have received threats from the workers because payments are not made to them. So managing them, everything has to be done. We used to ask one of the person to sit here in my office, get all the details, and we used to make payment to everyone. So obviously it is a tough task and numerous litigation which an RP has to face. And one advice to all my friends, ki whatever may be the type of litigation, be personally present there and read the documents properly, because we are signing, not any other person is signing. So read the document properly and be present. What is being spoken on your behalf and what is being done on your behalf. Then many incidences they have happened. PF inspection, we have got a notice of PF inspection, and our dear promoter suspended management always forwarded to RP. Madam will manage. They say she will manage. So all these things, but the savior is section 19(2). If you file, then you can produce a document in front of them. Okay, there is a non-cooperation. What inspection you will do? At the same time, I tell the management person also, your duties are still intact. So I will conclude, all my friends. Work with full faith, honesty, and dedications. Results are all yours, and enjoy your work and don't delegate. Everything is a learning experience for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tina. So I think this your speech, whatever things you have told us, so this actually I think reflects your passion for your work, and that really seems that you work with passion and you try to do things in the best possible way you do, and this is good learning for all of us. And now maybe Rashmi, are you there?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Tina. Now, without wasting much of the time, we'll go to the question answer session. Sandeep ji, you can take the question answer session from the chat box and invite members if they want to raise any issue.
Yeah, thank you, Rashmi. So now I invite all the participants to ask any of the questions or queries, whatever they have as of now. So
I
as
think
of
Payal
now,
Agarwal has raised her hand. Payal, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Yes, I have a question. In one of my case, am I audible?
yes, very much
Am I
audible.
audible, Rashmi?
Yes, yes, you're audible, Payal.
In one of my case, operational creditor has filed the application under Section 9 and the case is admitted. But now they want to withdraw the case. They have made an arrangement and they want to withdraw the case. So as an RP, what is my role there?
Tina, will you like to take the same?
Your voice is breaking, Payal.
Since I have got the copy of the agreement that they want to, so just a second.
So
So
if I can ask
actually,
this
this is
one
a section.
question,
This is a,
you have to get Form FA. You have to go Form FA from the financial creditor.
okay.
So only then you will be able to file for Section 12A application.
Right, sir. So I have been notified from the lawyer to file Form FA. But after filing Form FA, does my duty ends or until the withdrawal of the application, I have to go and take the custody, freeze the accounts. What is the process, sir?
So until and unless, I think, until and unless this very form, 12-way application is approved by the NCLT, so until then you have to work as RP only.
Work as RP is right, sir, but now the corporate debtor says that they have already made the payment. Why the RP wants to take over my assets? Why does she come here and take control? He is a little uneasy about that.
So I think till the time NCLT order is there, I think assets are not to be handed over.
Assets are not to be handed over, and I do not need to freeze their accounts.
Please the
Accounts, their bank accounts.
Acha, one important thing, Payal, I want to ask you whether the payment has been made from corporate debtors account or from their personal account, because one case happened here. It should not be from CD's account. Please check that. Being an RP.
Okay.
Okay, Payal, let us try to break down. Number one, time the matter is approved, you are an RP. You have to
Right.
function and you have to discharge all your duties as RP. So whether
Okay.
whatever you need to do, right? You have to freeze your accounts. In fact, you must do it. Assuming the NCLT rejects it, then what happens? So therefore, because you cannot allow any transaction from a bank account till the time CIRP is on, right? So that is what you really need to do. So go ahead with all your duties, perform your functions, and as Tina very rightly mentioned, make sure that the amount of settlement is not paid out of the coffers of the company. The promoters will have to pay from their own pocket,
Okay.
even if they are settling it.
Okay.
Because otherwise, then corporate debtors, you see, money is being used, which is against the moratorium also, isn't it? I think it's a very
Right, sir.
good question. And before we go to other our members, one Mr. Srinivas Mata and Mr. Avinash Tripathi has raised their hands. I think I must really appreciate the way Geeta ma'am and also Tina. And let me share with you. I have been speaking at number of forums today. I'm blown with what Tina has said. I mean, I must really appreciate. She was speaking from her experience. Same was with Geeta Shridhar ma'am. I think both of them were actually speaking from their own experience. I mean, this is what the forum is for. We are not giving here lectures on a theoretical platform. We are talking about practice, isn't it? So I think practical questions, practical issues are being discussed. Yes, Mr. Srinivas Mata, you can go ahead, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, you'll have to unmute yourself. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I am appointed as an liquidator. I have appointed a forensic auditor.
Okay.
For the past 6 months, he is not initiated any activity of conducting audit.
Okay.
Or making any effort to carry out the audit. Can I revoke his services, sir?
Sir, first you'll have to answer a question. Why did you permit him for 6 months not doing anything?
No, sir.
You must have given him time for 15 days or 30 days to submit. You should have put it
That's
on record.
no, sir. He is an independent professional. Why should I interfere in his thing?
Let's understand. The question is not interference. Question is of your own moral duty and the time bound thing. Now,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do agree my mistake, sir. But why I made mistake is he is also an independent professional. If I intervene and direct him to do like this, means it will be. I thought it will be interfering in his
well, anyway, I think
ambit. Like that, I thought.
I think
So,
Tina,
what is the solution for me, sir? Can I revoke his?
I think Tina will give you the practical solution, sir.
Yes. Same thing happened, but I didn't wait for 6 months. Within 15 days, I have given a notice. You see, tell
Okay.
me the time when you will be submitting your report. If it
Okay.
is not within so and so date, your appointment stands terminated. So you give him a deadline and
Okay, madam.
terminate it.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you. No.
Yes, Mr. Deepak, you have a question? Mr. Srinivas, do you have a follow-up question?
May I?
No, whether I had the power to give such notice is the my problem, sir. That's why.
Sir, with that one thing, I think let's be very clear for all RPs.
Mm.
Whenever you issue an appointment letter to a forensic auditor, please mention the time. And in that letter itself, you say that, look, your appointment will stand automatically terminated if you don't issue the report in that. So power
Okay.
comes from the language which you are using, my dear friend. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay.
Because you are bound by the time, as Tina clearly mentioned.
Yes, yes, sir.
You cannot wait for
Definitely.
6 months. Is seriously something is serious in this. So don't wait for 6 months at least, sir. Okay.
Okay, sir. Oh, no, no. That termination clause we didn't make kept, sir. This is the first assignment.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Mr. Deepak, can you please unmute yourself? Yes, you are
Yes,
unmuted.
sir. Good evening.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
I just wanted to, because I have not got yet any assignment. I just wanted to know that Tina ma'am was telling that while going for taking custody, take technical person with you and some 3-4 persons. So what does it mean, that what type of technical person we should carry, we should take with us?
Who is well aware of that machinery type. Like in case of transformer unit, I took the person who was well aware of the parts of transformers, who can record it properly, plant and machinery parts. And what I do the numbering, because it is a closed unit now. So we stick the numbers and we cover it with the plastic, that tape, so that it doesn't get run away with water. So, and then we take the pic of the person with that number of machine. And then we ask the technical person, ki the pic wise you mention ki what type of machine it is, because we are RP na, we are not technical experts, and later on we may forget also. So we get the numbering done, pic, and then he submit us a report with pic and the name of the machine and numbers.
Okay, so
Okay.
by technical person, what she means is, sir, it is like this. It will vary from the industry to industry. If you are taking over a hotel industry, naturally you need a person who is well versed with the hotel industry. If it's a steel industry, take a technical person who is well versed in those kind of machineries, plant and machinery. So that is the idea, because we are not technical people, right? We are commercial people, more or less. So therefore, we must take outside help and also create a good team. What she meant was taking 3 more people means you have to create a good team in your own office. That is what. Geeta ma'am, do you want to add something? Because I think you have also faced a lot of issues in custodies and other things. So can you just share your experience also?
Yes, sir. When it comes to custody, again, so we had difficult, because see, fortunately for us, it was all running units. So we were able to get into the office, identify the machinery, because they already had a list, or at least we were able to make a list of things. And see, effectively, what Tina said was right, that we have to have the complete list of machinery, even the smallest of motors to, part of it, because I mean, it will be, everything will be fine when there is no problem. And if the promoters are going to come back and you had it, if you don't have a proper list, because they may not give you, but if you don't have a proper list, and handing over becomes a challenge.
I will add one more thing. Tina mentioned take pictures. I would say videograph. Whenever you are taking over, videograph the entire event, because videos speak much better than a picture, right? A
We
picture,
do both, sir.
videos, of course, AI is there for videos also, but at the end of the day, non-editable videos will definitely work in your favor. Okay. I hope, Deepak ji, you have got your answer. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much for
Thank you.
joining.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
Mr. Vishwanath. Can you unmute yourself, sir?
Sir, I think Mr. Deepak was waiting prior to that.
No, Mr. Deepak has already asked the question. I think we already heard from him. Yes, Mr. Vishwanath. Yes, sir.
Can we have the number of the speakers, please? Because of a practical assignment. This is something which would be quite helpful
I think
to.
the speakers will request them to share in the chat box.
Please,
But sir,
please, that would be quite helpful.
please make a note. Call them at a very normal time, right? Don't call them at 10 o'clock
Absolutely.
at night.
No, certainly not.
because they have also have a family life. So
Absolutely,
call them
absolutely.
during,
Yes.
you see, reasonable time, or maybe send a message first. Can I call you, ma'am? So I think that will be much better.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that.
Absolutely, sir. I think interaction between the network, because what is meant by IP net? It is a network, right? So we must get to know each other and get a responsible answer from others. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. So, friends, any more questions? Okay, I think both the speakers spoke so well that there are no more questions now. So, Rashmi, now you have to take it over.
No, so now, sir, we will be just handovering the thank you, the memento to our speakers, and
Right.
I'm just sharing the memento.
Sure, please share it.
You're requested to please do the honors.
Absolutely. I think Geeta ma'am, you have been handing over these to as part of your own IPNet South, but it is my extreme pleasure to hand it over to you to give it to you on behalf of IPNet. Please accept it on behalf of the entire family of IPNet. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Great. Okay. Yes.
Just hold on. I think I shared Geeta ma'am's certificate
I think
again
she's
only.
getting 2 times, I believe.
Yeah.
No worries. I think we're not going to miss Tina on this.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, Tina, I think this is for you. You have been, you see, you have spoken in a fantastic manner. And I really, really appreciate the way you have given the practical tips. I think everyone got benefited. And as I mentioned, I was also blown. So please accept it on behalf of the entire IPNet family.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for encouraging us. Otherwise, I am the person who doesn't want to speak at all.
This is our mission to create every IP, make every IP as a faculty. That is our mission, right? Everyone has to come out and speak and share their experiences. Okay. So that's
Sir,
very,
our moderator.
yeah. Moderator is, of course, Sandeep Chitkara. I think, Sandeep, you have done a wonderful job in introducing the speaker and also moderating in between. So thank you so much. Please accept.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Great. So now I think as vote of thanks, is Parag there, or should I do the honors?
Sir, I
Maybe
think,
I
sir,
think
there will be announcement from IPNet West.
Sure. Go ahead.
I now invite IPNet West IP Udayraj Pratvarjanji or Namrata A. Randheri to make the announcement of the next webinar of IPNet.
Are they there? Okay, doesn't matter. Friends, the next webinar will be conducted on 28th of June, which is again a Saturday, 4 p.m., our usual time. I think everyone has now blocked their diaries and calendars for Saturdays, 4 to 6 p.m., isn't it? So we don't have to really announce it, but it is IPNet Westerns. They are in the process of finalizing the topic and the speaker. I think they'll take 1 or 2 days time because everyone is traveling in June. Actually, somebody's in London, somebody's somewhere else. So I think they are taking a little bit of time. So friends, be there on that particular day. Yes. Okay. Should I go for vote of thanks now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Before you put out the vote of thanks, I want to thank you specifically because you were the one who pushed me to, because I had been a speaker everywhere, not an IBC, but today, I had a first chance to work around the IBC as well. And that was my favorite topic because I had the hands-on experience of to share this to the forum. And thank you once again.
Correct. In fact, all those people like Mr. Kaisi Venkatesh, Vishweshwara Rao, Deepak Singh ji, Ramesh Kanupurti, Raghu Raja, Sanjeev Chaudhary, Mayank Tail. I mean, I'm taking the names who have opened their videos. Be ready, friends. Someday my call will come to you that you are going to speak. Okay, be ready for that. Okay, so great. And let me now give a formal vote of thanks. Of course, these are all my, you see, friends and colleagues. Very heartful thanks to Geeta Sridhar ma'am and Tina Saraswat ma'am for their fantastic and valuable contributions to today's webinar. Geeta ji, your session on CIRP execution practical tools offered very great clarity on the ground level realities that IPs are facing every day. So your practical insights, which are typically born out of your experience, rather I would say deep experience, I think they were quite useful. And they will definitely help the navigating what we call it as navigating the CIRP process effectively. Well, as far as Tina is concerned, let me tell you, she is the youngest one, handled so many, you see, CRP, and that too successfully. That is why we termed her topic as CIRP success, based on her performance, planning, process, pitfall. Well, that was equally powerful. I think the way you broke down the planning phase and highlighted the challenges were both relatable, and of course, you have provided the solutions also. I think the perfect balance between strategy, caution, and one thing which really struck me, and I've always been an advocate of that particular aspect, is that we do not have to dominate the promoters. We really, really have to cooperate. I'm not, we are expecting cooperation from them. We have to be polite. And there comes the PR skills. This is exactly what she has brought home today, and I'm really glad that she has understood in at such a young age. And she was very honest in saying that she got used to get angry. I mean, naturally, when the power comes, you feel that you are very powerful and you can do any damn thing. But with the power comes great responsibility. वो Spider-Man का dialogue है ना sir, with great responsibility comes a greater authority will comes the greater responsibility. Okay, so I think the balance was struck, and I think the words really, really, really resonated with all the professionals. So thank you so much, and IPNet is very, really, very proud to have leaders like you who are shaping and inspiring the IP community. Thank you so much to both of you.
And friends, before you all leave, let me please allow me to express our gratitude to IPNet President Dr. Ashish Makhija
Yes.
for his commitment and visionary leadership, which has made IPNet a much sought after platform, which is of great significance for the insolvency professionals pan India. The interesting topics on which webinars are being organized certainly make value addition in the knowledge and abilities of both the members and non-members of IPNet. So Ashish ji, thank you very much for bringing us all together and guiding us.
Thank you.
Thank
Parag.
you.
I took your vote of thanks. I thought you were not.
I was there.
I'm sorry.
No issues, sir. No issues.
Okay. Chalo, great. Everyone, thank you so much for conducting so beautifully. We must thank all the participants. We must also thank Rashmi. I think she has spent so much of time in planning also. And of course,
No, thank you, sir. Thank you for this opportunity.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
all.
sir.
Thank you, all the
Thank
Thank you.
participants.
Thank you all. Thank you all. This was great.
Can I request my IP colleagues to just stay here for a while so that we can have a small discussion? Maybe others
Okay, sir.
can, I mean, if they wish to, they can stay. Otherwise, they can exit also if they have some other things. I think, friends, I think Rashmi ji, Geeta ji, Tina ji, Sandeep ji, and of course, Parag was also there. I think you have done a fantastic job, and I'm really, really happy about the entire webinar which has happened today. Let's keep it up and let us create more speakers. Sanjeev ji, are you ready for the next webinar?
Yes, definitely. I will try my level best. But yes, so good speakers are there. So it will be difficult to match what Geeta ji and Tina ji is doing.
Right.
So really difficult to match.
Well, they have set a tone, so I think we should better that. I let me tell you a very small story. During in when I was doing my 12th standard, uh, you see, I asked my in fact one of my maths teacher was there. So he said, you have to you see score. I said, fine, sir. But I have got a greater responsibility because my brother scored 99 marks in mathematics. So I told him, I said 99. Do you know what he told me? And in Hindi, he told me, he says, Ashish, घोड़े और गधे में सिर्फ एक नंबर का फर्क होता है. And he encouraged me. He said, not only 99, you have to score the full marks. And I'm very proud and very happy to tell you that in my 12th standard, I got 100% marks in mathematics subject, and CBSE gave me a gold medal for that. So I was very happy about it. So all I'm saying is,
Great, sir. Great.
if Tina today is 99, you have to come 100, sir. So I think both these ladies have done a fantastic job. Geeta ji has a great knowledge. The only thing is we have to really learn the art of expressing, and that expression will come once we take the first step. Geeta ji has spoken on many forums on many topics. Even she has taught LLM students also. I know that, but she has been for the first time for IPs, which are really all professionals are there. So I think we need to encourage each one of us, friends, those who are still here. We are planning to have a program on how to become a faculty, right? I will be taking that session and I'll bring in one more, fantastic person. So we'll have a 2 hour journey or 3 hour journey. We are in the process of deciding. So if any one of you are interested in joining that program, I think you must. And how to captivate the audience, how to speak, I think that's more important, isn't it? Knowledge to sabke paas hai. Everyone has got a knowledge. How to express that so that the other person who is sitting on the other side of the table understands it, isn't it? That's the art which we have to learn. So I think that comes by experience also, but it can be learned. It's an art which can be learned. So we're going to do that program also. So thank you all my IPNet colleagues here and all other persons, IPNet members who are there. Without you, we could not have been doing such a great and a fantastic job. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
One
sir,
Thank
small
you,
for
word
sir.
of
bringing us
thanks
all
to Tina
together.
because one moment, Tina, just give me a minute.
Huh.
See, I actually had an opportunity of working closely with Tina on one occasion. Tina is a very lovely person, a go-getter, because we had one labor issue and she was the one who traveled to that factory site and sorted out the issue and made out her report. Thank you, Tina, for that support.
Right.
And she didn't even bill me till I told her the assignment is going to come to a close. You better bill it so that I can pay the
Sir
charges
won't
for that.
believe, sir, I took gunmen with me.
Wow.
Ah,
That's
because that was one labor issue. Actually, two employees fought with each other and they had a manhandling.
right, right,
So,
right.
and we were sitting in Chennai. So it was at her place indoor. So I took the help of Tina to sort out that issue and make them understand the significance of this. And then sorting out, Tina did a fabulous job.
Yeah,
Thank you, Geeta
must,
ma'am.
must be beware because she's capable of anything now. With one man in tow, I think she's capable of anything.
No, no,
Sir,
that was the reason why I brought it to this forum because we should know the strength of the person who's there in front of us.
Correct, correct, correct. Yes, I think Mr. Raghu Raja, do you want to say something, sir?
Yeah, Dr. Saab, really, it is highly enlightening session today. In fact, just to introduce myself, I'm a FCMA, but I'm a serving Deputy General Manager in Canara Bank.
Okay, fantastic.
So I associate with RPs,
Right,
but Mrs. Tina and Mrs. Sridhar, they were so practical and it was really enlightening for the beginners. In fact, they are A to Z, they taught very well. And I personally thank Dr. Makija Saab for conducting these type of webinars. In fact, today I got time, I joined here.
right.
Normally on working days, I find it difficult to join, but really it was a really learning experience. I
So,
am also a registered IBPA RP, but only after superannuation I may think of joining this profession.
correct.
But I wholeheartedly thank you, sir. Thank you very much for
But
your.
no, we
In fact, I can say you are handholding the IP fraternity to be successful in their profession. In fact, thank you very much.
sir, in fact, I must also appreciate that you have attended the program, and would like to see you more often, not only as an audience, but also as a speaker from the bank's perspective. In fact, we are going to conduct a webinar on COC, right? How the COC should function. So we need a bank's perspective also. So I think, sir, if you can just share your number with me, I think then we can get in touch with each other. And then otherwise, what I'll do is I'll just write my number in the chat box. You can note it down. You can just send me a.
We have your number, sir. In fact, we
So, okay,
have.
fine. So just send me a text, and I think we'll be in touch with each other. We'll discuss many other things where we
I
can.
think all IP fraternity members are knowing your number.
Chalo, great, sir. I think it's a sheer delight to meet you. Thank you so much, and thank you for appreciating Geeta ma'am and Tina ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Geeta.